The moment I saw the small silver packet tucked inside my wife's purse, every promise we had ever made to each other seemed to collapse into silence. My hands froze. My heartbeat pounded so loudly that I barely heard the rain tapping against the kitchen window. It wasn't just what I had found. It was everything my mind immediately decided it meant. For 15 years, Emily and I had built a life together on ordinary mornings, shared laughter, and difficult conversations. Yet in one terrible second, doubt became louder than every happy memory. I quietly placed the purse back where I had found it, pretending nothing had happened, even though nothing inside me felt normal anymore. That evening, Emily came home smiling, carrying groceries and talking about her exhausting day at the hospital where she worked as a senior nurse. I answered with short, distracted replies while secretly studying every expression on her face. Was that smile genuine, or had I simply never noticed how easily she could hide the truth? Every laugh sounded rehearsed. Every explanation felt incomplete. I hated the person I was becoming, but suspicion has a way of turning love into a courtroom where every innocent detail suddenly looks like evidence. I barely slept that night. Instead, I sat alone in the living room, staring at old photographs from our wedding day. Emily's smile in those pictures wasn't forced. Mine wasn't either. We looked like two people absolutely certain they would never become strangers. Our anniversary was only a week away, and a card I had bought months earlier was still hidden in my desk drawer. I had written inside it, "No matter how much life changes, you'll always be my favorite chapter." Reading those words now felt almost unbearable. The next morning, while Emily showered upstairs, I made a decision. I took the anniversary card from my drawer, opened it one last time, and added a single handwritten sentence beneath my original message. Some discoveries change everything, but the truth matters more than assumptions. Without removing anything else from her purse, I carefully slipped the card inside and closed the zipper exactly as I had found it. I didn't want an argument. I wanted honesty. If there was something I didn't know, this was her chance to tell me before silence destroyed whatever remained between us. For the rest of the day, my phone stayed silent. No messages, no explanation. By evening, I had almost convinced myself that she hadn't even seen the card. Then I heard the front door open. Emily stepped inside, carrying her purse with both hands. She looked directly at me, her eyes filled not with anger, but with confusion and fear. Without saying a single word, she slowly reached into her purse, pulled out the anniversary card, and placed it gently on the dining table between us. The room became so quiet that even the ticking clock sounded deafening. She looked into my eyes and whispered, "We need to talk, but before you say anything, I need you to promise you'll listen until I've told you everything." Emily took a slow breath before speaking. "The first thing you found wasn't what you think it was," she said quietly. She explained that several weeks earlier, a young woman had arrived at the emergency department after being assaulted. During the chaos, the patient had panicked, refused treatment, and accidentally left a small pouch behind. Emily had placed its contents into her own purse only long enough to file them with the hospital's lost property office after her shift. But because of repeated emergency cases and mandatory overtime, she had forgotten they were still there. It sounded unbelievable, and part of me wanted to reject every word. Yet another part remembered that Emily had spent 15 years proving she was an honest woman, while I had spent only one day doubting her. She reached into her work bag and placed several documents on the table: her shift schedule, an incident report number, and a reminder email from the hospital asking staff to return unclaimed belongings before the end of the month. Then she looked at the anniversary card again, tears filling her eyes. "When I saw this card," she whispered, "I realized you had already judged me before asking me a single question." Her voice never rose in anger. Instead, it carried disappointment, and somehow that hurt even more. I realized suspicion had nearly destroyed something that years of hardship had never managed to break. The following morning, we drove to the hospital together. Emily introduced me to her nursing supervisor, who confirmed every detail of the forgotten property report. My stomach sank as the truth settled in. The story I had built inside my own head had felt completely real, yet had been built almost entirely on assumptions. On the drive home, neither of us spoke for several minutes. Finally, I apologized, not only for doubting her, but for allowing fear to replace communication. Emily squeezed my hand and admitted that she should have emptied her purse sooner and told me about the incident before it became a misunderstanding. A week later, on our anniversary, we returned to the quiet lakeside restaurant where we had celebrated our first year of marriage. I handed Emily a new anniversary card. Inside, I had crossed out my old message and replaced it with another. Trust isn't tested when life is easy. It's tested when doubt feels convincing. Emily smiled through tears, slipped the card into her purse, and laughed softly. "This," she said, "is the only thing I ever want to find in here again." We left the restaurant hand in hand, both understanding that love survives not because mistakes never happen, but because two people choose honesty over assumptions and conversation over silence.